I would think today compared to when we were in, just the technology has changed so much. And it's a broader, just a broader field of just various training and technology issues.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, especially some of those aviation mechanic jobs, those go upwards of a year long in training. So.
Yeah.
And what other kind of opportunities does the Marine Corps offer besides aviation training? If somebody says, well, what choices would I have once I'm out of boot camp?
Yeah, that's a good question. And honestly, the biggest thing I like to say about the Marine Corps is that, obviously we all have a biased opinion here, but we have the most jobs. The reason I explain for that is if there's a Marine using it or breaking it, I like to say, there's a Marine fixing it. Sergeant Bernasser is a supply and accounting guy. I'm an air support kind of guy. I'm a guy that controls aircraft, ultimately drop bombs, stuff like that. But over 300 different job fields. Everything from your basic administrative guy who's making sure we get paid, guy that's keeping track of all of our gear, to the aviation mechanics, to the infantrymen who are the guys, the door kickers like we like to say, to dispersing guys, making sure we get paid, to mechanics, to operators. So.
What is the base pay now for if you go in, once you get out of boot camp?
I believe it's for an E1, it's $1,399 a month for an
You're
E1.
kidding.
Starting out.
You know how much it
Mine was 78.
Yeah.
$78 a month.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
If we got meals, do
we
they give
did.
you meals with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Meals,
and housing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Wow. Now, if someone chooses to re-up after, is it a basic? Can you still enlist for 3, or is it all 4 years now?
It's case by case. Generally, it's 4 years.
4 years.
Generally, when it's 2 years for the Marine Corps, it's because you're kind of on probation because you got in some trouble and you're in the gray area. So the Marine Corps says, hey, you don't want to be that guy in a 2-year bracket. But generally, 4 years, 4 to 5 years, just all depends.
And so, what incentive would you have? What does the Marine Corps have for a person if they've served 4 years, and if they've been a good Marine, and the Marine Corps wants them to stay in, but they're questioning, oh boy, I don't know if I want to give another. Do they re-up for another 4 years? And if so, what's the incentive to do that?
It all depends on the case, but most of the time, it depends on the time frame too. If it's a critical MOS, critical job like you're talking about, a lot of times there is a bonus. There's a monetary value that says, hey, like I know when I re-enlisted, I got more money. So they said, hey, you are going to do the 4 years, so on top of that, we're going to give you some extra money. But there's other things like duty preference. Like when I re-enlisted, and I requested orders to recruiter school. So for me, the bonus was just kind of there, but what I really wanted was recruiter school. So for me, it was, hey, I'm going to re-enlist for 4 years if you give me preference on my next duty.
That was pretty much the same for me too. I re-enlisted wanting to be a recruiter and try that out, and then they're like, well, you also get a bonus too. Hey, that's great,
Yeah.
I just really wanted to stay in and be a Marine.
Now, how long do you think your duty as a recruiting sergeant is? How long will that go on before you changed out? Because you'd be changed out after a while, will you?
Yes, it's 3 years. It's a 3-year duty, and if you're good enough and you have the drive to still stay out here, then you can request to be a career recruiter, and then ultimately becomes you can't go back. We call it the dark side, but it's not really the dark side. But it's as being Marines, you're ultimately giving up that other job that you have, and now you're becoming a career recruiter, and you're the.
So you could do that.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, Staff Sergeant Rubio, who's going to be here today, but had some things to take care of. He's a career recruiter.
Okay.
So he's been doing this for about almost 5 years.
Okay.
And then he's going to continue to do it.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could do a career thing like that. Could you do a career in air support too? Say I want to do that for the rest of my life?
Most of the time that's how it is. It stays in what you call your primary MOS. And you'll stay in there. And there's opportunities for you to move around, but once you get to a point where like me and Sergeant Bernasser are at, you kind of
Pretty well.
You kind of knock yourself down for promotions because now you got to relearn another job. Whereas we have 7 years, 6.5 years experience in our job field already. So
So do you like here being in Illinois over being from sunny California?
I'm getting used to it. I've been here for 2 years now, so just one more winter left, and then I'm out of here.
Where do you hope to go from there? From here?
We're kind of playing around with different ideas. My wife and I were talking about Hawaii, but I think we're really just going to go back to San Diego if we can.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Just we got more family there.
Yeah, beautiful area. Sure is. Now, I want to get back on this business of, you know, when you're getting somebody to come in or they're interested in coming into the Corps.
Mhm.
You finish boot camp, you go on, everybody's got to go on to the ACTs, right? Advanced Combat?
Well, it's called MCT now, but
okay.
Marine Combat Training. It's
Yeah.
the same
okay.
thing.
All right.
Yeah, so after boot camp, 3 months, they have 10 days of leave, paid vacation.
Mhm.
That's, you know, we're the only branch that's doing that right after their initial training. They get to come home for 10 days. After that, they either go to School of Infantry. If they're obviously an infantryman, that's
Mhm.
their job. They'll go and they'll learn their trade of being an infantryman, whether it be a rifleman, machine gunner, stuff like that. And that's 2.5 months long. And if they're not infantry, everybody else is going to go to Marine Combat Training.
Mhm.
Marine Combat Training is 29 training days of everything that the basic infantryman does in his first 29 days, except for the difference is the infantryman, after them 29 days, he goes and becomes a duty expert in, say, like a machine gunner. He knows every in and out of that machine gun.
Mhm.
Whereas everybody else goes to 29 days, they do patrolling, they shoot all the machine guns, throw grenades, shoot a grenade launcher, get that basic skill set. And then from there, they go directly on to their job school.
Okay.
And that's, you know, across the United States.
But they know,
Oh yeah,
they know what job school they're going to go to.
Yes, when they enlist, they know what job field they're doing. Like I said, the aviation mechanic is the easiest one to explain. Hey, you are going to be an aviation mechanic.
Mhm.
For the most part, for those guys, they'll go to Pensacola, Florida for an A school. And based on how well they do on the A school is how far they'll progress from there. But regardless, when they get to boot camp and they're done and they graduate boot camp, they will have an actual, what we call an MOS.
MOS,
Mhm.
yeah.
And they'll have an actual number and say, hey, yeah, I'm going to be an aviation, you know, I'll be a Harrier power plant guy. Now that A school is where they'll go and say, hey, you did well enough that you're going to be a higher level echelon maintenance. So as they do better, they'll be like, hey, you're not going to be the guy just identifying it, you're going to be the guy that can identify it and fix it.
Oh, okay.
So,
Excellent. Infant. Now, do you have very many women come in to find out about service in the Marine Corps at your recruiting office here?
you know, it just all depends. I mean, it's the area. 6% of the Marine Corps is females.
Mm-hmm.
Sergeant Benasri has put in what, 2 or 3.
A few, I think it was like 4, something
Mhm.
like 4 or 5,
Mhm.
something like that. And
What's
the
your
2 years I've
average
been here.
recruitment on a monthly basis there?
Yeah.
Or it
That's,
fluctuates?
No, I'm laughing because just the way things are now. Right now it's honestly one a recruiter, but however, 2007, October 2007, and Sergeant Benasri was part of this as well. He put in a lot of people as well, but October 2007 I put in 4 people myself.
Oh, that's good.
This October we put in 4 for our whole office.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's a little bit different. Reason for that, everybody says the economy. Yes and no, but not from the recruiting side of the house. Because we're still, where we're at right now, we're raising the bar higher. So the Marine Corps is saying, hey, our bar, like, you know, Department of Defense has it here, Marine Corps is here. Marine Corps said, hey, we're doing really well, let's raise it up again.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start picking people and whatever. Reason for that, 2006, the Commandant said, hey, we're going to go ahead and bump our numbers up to 202,000, put us on a 5-year plan, which should be October of next year.
Mhm.
And as of April this year, we were at 206,000. So we were well over where we need to be, so the Marine Corps is
good.
now
Ratcheting it
Telling us
down
to
a
slow
little.
down.
telling us to slow down and kind of trimming the fat, as we like to say.
Yeah.
All those people that are in and, you know,
The-
hiring standards.
The ads that the Marine Corps runs are great, and do you think that helps the recruiting business or recruiting side of things?
I do. The reason, I mean, obviously, again, like I said, we have biased opinions, but the reason I like the Marine Corps commercials the best is because there's few words spoken,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't need to. We don't need to say anything else. It's all
Yeah.
right there.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
Yeah,
Few words
it's a good,
spoken.
good,
Yeah.
it's good,
That's great.
it's a good ad.
Well, gentlemen, you know, unfortunately, we're running out of time here. I would like to spend a lot more time just, you know, getting more information from you and sharing with our viewing audience, because this is seen not only in Schaumburg, but in several suburbs of the Northwest area. And I think we can get them a tape, can't we get them a tape so that, or a copy, I should say. It's not tapes anymore. But a copy of the show for your use and viewing.
Mhm.
So, boy, Sergeant, we want to thank you so much for being here, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you
Lot
for
of
having us,
pride.
gentlemen.
A lot of pride. Semper Fi.
Super fun.
Semper Fidelis.
All right. And thank you all for watching. That'll be the segment now, and we'll say Semper Fi to the whole audience.